Hello, may I subscribe Piao? How are you? Can you hear me? Hello, can you see me? Hi, how are you there? It's good to see you. Thanks for showing up. Yeah. So, welcome back to another episode of my blog vlog. And this week we are back with a goodie. Yeah, I say it every week, and I don't seem to disappoint myself or the readers. So, yeah, it's a goodie. No kiss. Boo, that joke was still. But anyway, this week we're talking about body count and how important is it to the foundation or the survival of your relationship. Now, for me personally, what you did before me is absolutely none of my business. I probably wasn't even thinking about you while you were doing what you were doing. The same for me. And so it really doesn't matter. As I grew, my checklist for what's important in relationships grew, and body count was never a part of that. It never. I feel like the more experience you come with might be the better for me. Yeah. Um, I look at things as personal accountability, um, responsibility, ability to communicate, especially when you're not feeling in a not so good mood or angry, if you lash out or not. Like, I feel like those things are more important than your sexual prowess of the past. At least for me. More importantly, for me, let me just say, for me, I don't know, other people obviously would feel different, and they would have their own metrics that they use to measure relationships and the possibility of being in a relationship. But I'm saying, for me personally, me as a man, me don't care about your body count. And yeah, it's nobody business. But it's not information I volunteer. If you do, however, happen to ask, I will be honest with you. And yeah, so this week is a reflection on how body count, I was thinking about it. Not that anything happened recently. It was just a thought I had, and I decided to pull from the archives. Oh, one thing I did not say when I wrote this blog: context is very important. Now, I lost my virginity or started having sex when I was 8 years old. I think the longest I've ever gone without sexual interaction would have been 6 months deliberately. Like, I just needed to take a break, and I was like, nah, forget this, I'm not on that. So I would have had 31 years and 6 months of sexual interactions. 31 years is a lot of time to run up some numbers. But just want to add some context to my blog before I put it out there. So, does your body count include the times you mistook access for intimacy? A reflection on numbers, connection, and the lessons hiding inside desires. What body count taught me about connection? I've shared intimacy with more people than I'm comfortable counting out loud. For a long time, that felt like success. Now it feels like a lesson. We talk about body count like either it's a badge of honor or a scarlet letter. But nobody talks about what the numbers actually teach you. And if I'm honest, I've lived long enough to see the lesson unfold. The mathematics of desire, Mr. Community Dick. That's what he used to call me a long time. One body taught me curiosity. Two bodies showed me pleasure could multiply. Three bodies introduced variety. 10 bodies showed me numbers don't make you lesser. 50 bodies made me want 100. 100 bodies made me feel 100% lesser. And somewhere past 200, you stop counting and start reflecting. Not because every encounter was meaningless, but because eventually the question changes. It stops being how many, it becomes why. Just why. There was a period in my life where intimacy felt abundant. Not sacred, not complicated, just available. I was easy. I was very, very easy. And when access became easy, numbers climb. Not because you're searching for connection, connection was never the goal, motion was. Distraction, validation, and curiosity. And when standards disappear long enough, numbers grow faster than your understanding of what those encounters actually mean. Now, my brethren, Blake, he wrote the other day, I can't be the only one feeling like this. I've lost interest in meaningless sex and meeting new people. Men saying they lost interest in chasing bodies, women saying access to their body isn't the same as being seen. And something about that resonated because intimacy is never just physical. Every person carries habits, energies, emotional history. And when you multiply those experiences enough times, something strange happens. The encounters blur together, but the emptiness becomes clearer. Something else strange happens in a culture obsessed with body count. People become statistics before they become human. I remember one moment clearly. We just finished having sex, still lying there in that quiet space people sometimes call intimacy, and she asked me, how many women have you been with? Not in a playful way, not in a jealousy way, just curiosity. I paused because suddenly I realized something. The answer wasn't a memory, it was a calculation. And when I gave her a range instead of a number, the room shifted. Not dramatically, not angrily, just subtly, like a door quietly closing somewhere in the background. The connection we had just shared disappeared into a statistic, and she wasn't looking at me anymore. We both became a number. And sometimes numbers don't just turn people into trophies, sometimes they turn them into statistics. And sometimes people quietly remove themselves from the possibility of intimacy the moment they hear the math. When I was younger, I used to joke about sex like it was exercise. I read somewhere, and it's not factual because I Googled it actually before I wrote this blog, that 15 minutes of sex burn the same amount of calories as running a 5K. And if I'm being honest, I prefer to die between those laps than making laps around the savannah. At the time, it felt playful, athletic even. But looking back at that mindset says more about where my head was than anything else. Because intimacy isn't a workout, and connection isn't measured in calories burned. There's a strange feeling when you reflect on your younger self. Part pride, part amusement, part quiet embarrassment. You don't hate that version of yourself, you don't but you recognize you don't hate that version of yourself. But you recognize he was riding like a headless man chasing something he didn't fully understand. Access felt like success, but access without intention eventually feels hollow, man. As I get closer to 40, something has shifted. Not my appreciation for intimacy, but my understanding of it. Intimacy isn't intercourse. My love languages are very clear now: words of affirmation and physical touch. Not just interaction, presence, conversations, energy that feels aligned and not just opportunity. The mathematics of desires revisited. Looking back, the numbers read differently now. One body taught me curiosity, two bodies showed me pleasure, three bodies introduced variety, 10 bodies showed me numbers don't make you lesser, 50 bodies made me want 100, 100 bodies made me feel 100% lesser, and somewhere past 200, you stop chasing the number. You start questioning the meaning. Because numbers alone don't measure intimacy. They measure how long it took you to realize that access and connection are not the same things. There's another layer to the body count conversation that men rarely admit. We're taught that high numbers are proof of something, proof of masculinity, proof of desirability, proof that we're winning. So when the numbers climb, we're expected to wear it like a trophy. But sometimes the quiet truth is different. Sometimes those numbers aren't trophies. They're evidence of loneliness, lack of self control, evidence of a phase in life where access felt easier than vulnerability. And the strange thing is, many men recognize that feeling. We just we just don't say it out loud. Because the moment you admit that numbers didn't actually fulfill you, people assume you're ashamed of your past. And I felt maybe just a little bit embarrassed writing this. More cautious than embarrassed though. But reflection isn't shame, it's growth. So let me ask you, where are you now in your own story? Still chasing experiences? Still counting moments like trophies? Because a lot of us are quietly waking up to the same realization: the culture celebrates numbers. But numbers alone never made anyone feel seen. The real source isn't pretending you never had a past. The real source is understanding what the past taught you. Because eventually you realize something simple: access is easy, connection is rare. And the older you get, the more intentional you become about the people that you choose. I'll amuse you. So, yeah, that was my blog for this week. That was my blog for this week. Feel free to engage in the comments. I would love to be open to I would be open to having a conversation with you. I mean, you don't have to state your numbers in the comments like I did so boldly. But yeah, please feel free to be honest. Like we have a discourse. Let me know where you at in your journey. You still running for numbers, or you pat down and you realize a lot of things make a lot more sense, or things different for you. Where you are, however you are. Share it, leave it in the description, leave it in the comment below. Like, share, subscribe, and send this to a friend. I'd appreciate it. Also, you can check out my books on Gumroad if you're interested in supporting the muse. And I would have merch coming soon. Or you see the jersey or the shirt. I'll Muse You branded merch coming very, very soon. We have shirts and we have t-shirts in the making, hats, cups. I don't know what else. I don't know. Like I don't want to do like a regular merchant thing, but we could figure it out. But you could support, buy your own copy of the journal. The digital copy is out on Gumroad as well, and Hopeful Hypocrite is available for sale on Amazon, Gumroad, and at the Bacano Bookshop in Arima. So you guys can check it out there and get yourself a copy. And yeah, thank you for watching. Love alone.